Hello everyone, I am Santosh KG, Assistant Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, MIT, Mysore. In the last session, I derived the expression for steady state amplitude and the phase difference phi when a spring mass damper system is undergoing the forced vibration, and we got the expression for the steady state amplitude as x equals f naught divided by square root of k minus m into omega square whole square plus c into omega whole square. This was the expression which I derived, and in this expression F naught, it represents the external force applied to the spring mass damper system, and K represents the spring stiffness, M it represents the vibrating mass, and omega it represents the external frequency, and C it represents the damping coefficient. And if you observe this equation here, we can say that the value of x, which denotes the steady state amplitude, it depends on F naught, K, M, C as well as omega, and it is difficult to interpret how the value of x is going to vary with respect to all the terms. So, in order to make the analysis easier, what we are going to do is, we are going to express the steady state amplitude in terms of the non-dimensional form. So, to express the steady state amplitude in terms of the non-dimensional form, first what I am going to do is, I am going to divide the numerator and denominator of this equation by k, that is f naught divided by k divided by square root of k minus m omega square whole square plus c into omega whole square divided by k square. By simplifying this, f naught divided by k divided by square root of, I will take this k inside the bracket of these two terms. So, when I take it inside, I will get an equation like this: k minus m omega square divided by k whole square plus c omega divided by k whole square. Again, if I simplify this equation, I will get capital X equals f naught divided by k divided by square root of k divided by k is 1 minus m omega square divided by k whole square plus c into omega divided by k whole square. So, here we are having the term m omega square divided by k. I will do little alteration to this term. So, first what I will do is, I will keep omega square as it is, and k I am going to write it in the denominator, and I will send this m to the denominator, thereby I will get k divided by m in the denominator. So, in the numerator I am having omega square, and k by m it can be written as omega n square. Therefore, in place of m omega square divided by k, I can write omega divided by omega n whole square. So in this expression, wherever I am having the term m omega square divided by k, there I can replace it by the term omega divided by omega n, which is a non-dimensionless number. Here omega, it is expressed in radians per second, and omega n, it is also expressed in radians per second, and they will cancel out. As a result, this term will possess no unit. Then we are having one more term, which is c omega divided by k. To simplify this, what I will do, I will multiply the numerator and denominator by the term cc into c omega divided by k. So here, in place of c by cc, I can write the term zeta. The remaining terms left are, one is omega, the second term is cc in the numerator, and in the denominator I am having the term k. Then zeta into omega, the cc, critical damping coefficient cc, it can be written as 2 times m into omega n divided by k. Again 2 into zeta into omega, then I am having omega n divided by k, and I will send this m to the denominator, thereby I will get k by m. So this is 2 zeta omega into omega n divided by k by m, is can be written as omega n square. So this square and this omega n will cancel out, and I will be left with 2 zeta omega divided by omega n. Therefore, wherever I am having the term c into omega divided by k, there I can write 2 times zeta into omega divided by omega n. Here, if you see the value of zeta, so zeta, it is the damping ratio, and it represents the ratio of c divided by cc. So the unit of c and cc, it is same, Newton second per meter square. They will cancel out. As a result, the zeta is having no units. Similarly, omega and omega n, they are having the same units, radians per second. As a result, this term omega by omega n, it is also a unitless. So in this term, 2 represents constant, and these two terms, they represents the non-dimensional form. So wherever in this equation I find c omega by k, there I will write 2 zeta into omega divided by omega n. So here in the numerator I am having f naught divided by k square root of 1 minus, in place of m omega square divided by k, there I will write omega divided by omega n square whole square, plus in place of c omega divided by k, I will write 2 times zeta into omega divided by omega n square. So this equation, it represents the steady state amplitude in the non-dimensional form. So here the unit of force is Newton and the unit of K is Newton per meter. As a result, the unit of F naught by K will become meter, which is the unit of the steady state amplitude. And if you look at these two terms, they are dimensionless. Therefore, this expression is called as a non-dimensional form of the steady state amplitude x. Similarly, in the last class, we also derived the expression for phase difference phi. Which is given by phi equals tan inverse of C omega divided by K minus m into omega square. Now, let us try to convert this term also in the form of a non-dimensional form. So, here this equals tan inverse of C omega divided by K divided by K minus m omega square divided by K. So, this equals tan inverse of, in place of C omega divided by K, I can write the non-dimensional form 2 zeta omega divided by omega n, and in place of K minus m omega square divided by K, I can write K by K is 1 minus m omega square divided by K. Again simplifying this, tan inverse of 2 zeta omega divided by omega n divided by 1 minus, in place of m omega square by K, I will write omega by omega n square. So, this is the expression for phase difference phi. So, if you look at this equation, 2 is a constant, it does not have any unit. Zeta, it is C by Cc, C and Cc, they are having same unit. So, it is also a dimensionless number. Then omega and omega n, they are also having the same unit. Therefore, the ratio of omega by omega n, it is also a dimensionless. Therefore, all the terms in this expression, they are dimensionless, hence this expression, it represents the non-dimensional form of the phase difference phi. After expressing the steady state amplitude and the phase difference phi in the non-dimensional form, now let us try to define few more terms. So, among them, the first term is zero frequency deflection. Let us denote it by the term XST, which represents static deflection. So, what is the definition of a zero frequency deflection? So, it is defined like this: it is the deflection observed when the external frequency which is denoted by omega is 0. Now, let us try to write the expression for zero frequency deflection by reading the definition. The steady state amplitude x is given by f naught divided by k divided by square root of 1 minus omega divided by omega n square whole square plus 2 times zeta omega divided by omega n square. Now, to get the steady state deflection XST, what I should do? I should substitute the value of omega as 0. That is, x will be XXT when the value of omega in the above equation is 0. Therefore, the steady state deflection, so XXT will be equals to F naught divided by K divided by square root of 1 minus, in place of omega if I put 0, then 0 by anything will be 0, 0 square is 0, so 1 minus 0 is 1 and 1 square is 1 itself. So 1 plus, if I put omega as 0, omega by omega n, it will be 0, and if you multiply it by 2 zeta, then we will get 0 itself. So 1 plus 0 and square root of 1 is 1 itself. Therefore, the 0 frequency deflection equals F naught divided by K. So this represents the expression for 0 frequency deflection. Now, let us try to define one more term, which is known as a magnification factor. Let us denote the magnification factor by capital M. The magnification factor, it is defined as the ratio of steady state deflection to 0 frequency deflection. The steady state deflection or the steady state amplitude is denoted by x, and the 0 frequency deflection is denoted by x as t. The expression for x is F naught divided by K divided by square root of 1 minus omega divided by omega n square whole square plus 2 zeta omega divided by omega n square, whole thing divided by XXT. So XST is F naught divided by K. So the F naught by K and F naught by K will cancel out, and I get the value of M as 1 divided by square root of 1 minus omega divided by omega n square whole square plus 2 zeta omega divided by omega n square. So this is the expression for magnification factor. After defining the magnification factor term, now let us see how the magnification factor is going to vary with respect to the frequency ratio, which is omega by omega n for different values of damping ratio. So we know that the magnification factor, it is given by the equation 1 divided by square root of 1 minus omega divided by omega n square whole square plus 2 zeta omega divided by omega n whole square. For easy purpose, what I will do is I am going to replace omega by omega n by r. Therefore, m equals 1 divided by square root of 1 minus r square whole square plus 2 zeta r whole square. So here we can see that the magnification factor m, it mainly depend upon two parameters. So one is r, which represents omega by omega n, which is called as the frequency ratio, and the other term is zeta. So in order to see how the value of m is going to vary with respect to r and zeta, what we are going to do is we are going to plot a curve by taking the frequency ratio omega by omega n along x-axis and the magnification factor m along y-axis, and we are going to plot a curve for different values of zeta. So the value of zeta, it may be 0, which represents the undamped system, or the value of zeta, it may be 0.1, it may be 0.2, 0.3, like that it may vary. So if you plot the graph between m and the frequency ratio omega by omega n for different values of zeta, we get the following frequency curves. So from this frequency curve, we can derive certain conclusion. So one conclusion is, irrespective of the values of zeta, that is whether the value of zeta, if it is 0 or it may be 0.1, it may be 0.3, it may be 0.6 or it may be 0.8. So for different values of zeta, when omega by omega n happens to be 0, they all have the value of m as 1. That is, m equals 1 when omega by omega n happens to be 0 for different values of damping ratio zeta. The second conclusion is, here in this region, that is when the value of omega by omega n is between 0 to 1. So the value of omega by omega n, we are denoting it by r. So when the value of r happens to be less than 1, then what happens? With the increase in the speed, so when you increase the speed, you can see the amplitude of the vibration, it is increasing. The value of m is increasing in the region 0 to 1 when we increase the value of omega by omega n. And when the value of omega by omega n, it happens to be 1, there we can see that the value of m is maximum, and when the value of omega by omega n, that is r, it happens to be greater than 1, then with the increase in the speed, so as you increase the speed, the magnification factor keeps on decreasing. So this graph will be helpful for us while designing a spring mass damper system when it is subjected to some external force F0. The second characteristic curve we are having is the variation of phase difference, which is denoted by phi. versus the frequency ratio omega by omega n for different values of zeta. We know that the phase difference phi is given by tan inverse of 2 zeta omega by omega n divided by 1 minus omega by omega n square. So, here the phase difference phi, it mainly depends on two terms, one is zeta and another one is omega by omega n. So, let us denote omega by omega n by term r. So, here in order to know how the phase difference phi is going to vary with respect to zeta and the frequency ratio r, we have plotted a graph by taking the frequency ratio omega by omega n along x axis and phase difference phi along y axis, and we have drawn a number of curves for different values of the damping ratio zeta. So, the various curve we are going to get, they are having the following shapes, and from this graph we can make certain conclusions. So, the conclusions we can make are, the first one is the value when the value of omega by omega n is 0. So, when omega by omega n it happens to be 0, then we can see that all the curve they are having the phase difference of 0. The value of phi, it will be 0 for all values of the damping ratio zeta. The second conclusion is when the value of omega by omega n happens to be 1. So, when omega by omega n it is 1, then we can see that all the curves are having the phase angle of 90 degrees. So, the value of phi will be 90 degrees for all values of zeta, and when the value of omega by omega n it crosses 1, we can see that all the curves they are having phase angle in between 90 degrees to 180 degrees. So, the next conclusion is when omega by omega n happens to be greater than 1, then the phase angle phi it will be lying in between 90 degrees to 180 degrees for all values of zeta. And also we can observe that when the value of omega by omega n it happens to be lying between 0 to 1, then the phase difference phi it will be in the range 0 to 90 degrees. So, the next conclusion we can draw is when omega by omega n happens to be less than 1, then the value of phi it will be in between 0 to 90 degrees for all values of zeta.